For a long, breathless moment, I wondered if I had imagined the words. She's mine. They couldn't have been meant for me. I was a nobody. A servant girl with raw hands and tattered clothes, still damp with soapy water from scrubbing floors. Surely, I had misheard. Surely, he had meant someone else. But the silence that filled the hall told me otherwise. Every servant froze. Madame Cora went pale. Even the guards shifted uncomfortably, their eyes darting between the king and me. And still, his gaze did not leave mine. The Alpha King. The most feared and respected wolf in the realm. He stood less than an arm's length away, his broad shoulders casting a shadow over me, his piercing eyes locked on mine as though I were the only soul in existence. My lips trembled. Words refused to form. My voice had always been soft, but now it was barely a whisper. I think you must be mistaken, my lord. His brows furrowed. A low growl rumbled from deep within his chest, vibrating through the stone floor beneath me. Do not tell me what I feel, little one. Heat flared across my skin. My heart thundered so loud I feared he could hear it. But, Madame Cora stammered, wringing her hands as she shuffled forward. My king, this girl is no one. A servant. A stray we took in out of pity. She has no wolf. No bloodline. She is nothing. The Alpha's head snapped toward her, his growl deepening. The sound was primal, dangerous, the kind of growl that made even seasoned warriors flinch. Nothing. His voice was a low snarl. Do you dare insult my mate? Gasps echoed through the hall. Mate. The word struck me harder than a slap. My breath caught in my throat. My mate. No, that wasn't possible. I had lived 17 years without ever feeling the bond, without ever shifting, without any sign of belonging to this world of wolves. How could he, how could I? I shook my head, panic clawing up my chest. No, I whispered, shaking. No, I can't be. You're wrong. His eyes burned brighter, the fire within them fierce and unyielding. Do you deny the pull you feel toward me? I swallowed hard, unable to answer. Because he was right. As much as I wanted to deny it, as much as I wanted to sink into the shadows and disappear, there was something, an invisible thread pulling me toward him. My body reacted even as my mind screamed for reason. My pulse raced, my breath quickened, and every part of me leaned toward him like he was gravity itself. I choked out, tears stinging my eyes. I don't understand. His gaze softened, just slightly, as if he saw the fear in me. You will. The heavy doors of the hall creaked open again, and the sound of laughter spilled in. The chosen women began to descend the staircase, dressed in silks and jewels, their perfumes heavy in the air. They were radiant, prepared for the ceremony that would decide their fates. But their laughter faltered as they saw the scene before them. Dozens of beautiful women, groomed for weeks for this one night, and the Alpha King stood not among them, but before a servant girl with dirty knees and water-stained hands. Their expressions shifted. Confusion. Shock. Then rage. One of them, tall and striking with golden curls, stepped forward, her jeweled gown shimmering in the torchlight. Lady Marin. She was the daughter of a powerful beater and had made no secret of her ambition to become Luna. My king, she said smoothly, her voice dripping with practiced charm. Surely you jest. That girl is, beneath you. The Alpha's eyes snapped to her, and the fury in his gaze silenced her instantly. I do not jest. His words cracked like thunder. The moon goddess has spoken. She is mine. The murmurs among the crowd grew louder. Disbelief. Anger. Whispers like daggers, slicing into me from every direction. She has no wolf. She doesn't belong to a pack. She's not even worthy of scrubbing the floors. How could the moon goddess choose her? I wanted to disappear, to sink into the cold stone and never rise again. My chest tightened with shame, with fear, with disbelief so sharp it left me trembling. But the Alpha stepped closer, and his presence consumed everything. He reached down, his hand extending toward me. Stand, he commanded. My body refused at first. My knees were locked, my mind screaming at me to stay low, to stay invisible. But the bond, the strange, impossible pull, compelled me. Slowly, shakily, I rose to my feet, my head bowed low. When I dared to lift my eyes, his gaze was softer now. Not gentle, he was too fierce, too wild for gentleness, but protective. Possessive. Certain. You belong to me, he said, his voice low enough that only I could hear. And I to you. The words made my heart ache. Made my soul tremble. But still, I couldn't accept them. Not yet. The rest of the hall erupted in chaos. The chosen women wailed and protested. Madame Cora sputtered, insisting I was unworthy. The guards exchanged uneasy glances, clearly uncertain of what to do. But the Alpha silenced them all with a single command. Enough. The sound of his roar rattled the very walls. The torches flickered. Even the most defiant voices fell silent. He turned to the gathered crowd, his arm coming to rest just behind me, not quite touching, but close enough that I could feel the heat radiating from him. This girl, he declared, his voice echoing like thunder, is chosen by the moon goddess herself. She will not be mocked. She will not be touched. She will be respected as your future queen. My knees nearly buckled. Queen. No. No, this couldn't be real. But no one dared argue further. Even Lady Marin lowered her gaze, though the fury in her eyes promised trouble yet to come. The Alpha turned back to me. His hand brushed against mine, the contact sending a shock of heat through my body, like lightning crackling under my skin. What is your name? He asked. I swallowed hard. My voice came out as a whisper. Selene. His lips curved, the faintest hint of a smile. Selene. He spoke it like a vow, like a word sacred to him alone. Fitting. I didn't understand. None of this made sense. And yet, as his fingers closed around mine, as his warmth surrounded me, a part of me, a part buried so deep I had almost forgotten it existed, stirred. A part that whispered, mine. That night, the mating ceremony continued, but not as anyone had expected. The other women danced, sang, and tried desperately to capture his attention. But his gaze never strayed far from me. He stood tall, commanding, his aura filling the grand hall. Yet whenever his eyes met mine, I felt as though I were the only one there. It terrified me, because I had lived my whole life being invisible. And now, I was seen. Seen by the one man who could change everything. When the night ended, and the guests dispersed in sullen disappointment, I thought perhaps he would leave me behind. Perhaps this had been some strange mistake. But then he spoke the words that sealed my fate. Come, he said, his voice firm but not unkind. You are leaving with me. I froze. Leaving. His eyes locked on mine, blazing with certainty. You are my mate, Selene. And I will not leave you in this place another night. This was the Alpha King's Hidden Mate, a full-length werewolf romance audiobook, narrated by Whispers and Tales of Romance. If you enjoyed it, please like, comment, and subscribe for more enchanting stories.